Welcome back to Albany County Fasteners, Fasteners 101. I'm Bob, and today we got a project. Today's project is a wire tool cage. Basically, for us to secure expensive tools in a cage area where the pickers need to ask for the products that are in these cages. So, let's get started. So I just want to go through the parts I have. I have a bunch of parts that came with this cage. Basically, this is a wire machine guard cage. And I'm going to modify it into a tool cage. The reason for that is I've been searching online to purchase a tool cage, and the numbers are crazy. So I came up with this alternative, and I bought this at Uline. And basically, this is their wire machine guard. It's basically a post that's approximately about 5 feet high. And I have 2, 4, 6 posts here that I'm going to put in place. I have 2 end panels, and I got 3 doors. So basically, I'm going to build it coming out, and it's going to be down here, and then we're going to have 3 doors to enter. I have 3 wire shelves that we're going to put in there to be able to put tools on, which will have designated locations. And then I'm going to build a top to seal it off, and I'll have my tool cage for about half the cost of buying a actual expensive tool cage. And those tool cages are anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. But what I'm going to build here is going to cost me about $750, all said and done. So I'm going to get my posts in the right spot, and we're going to start drilling some holes. Okay, so I located my first post here, and I'm going to mark the holes on where I'm going to drill with a Sharpie. 4 holes, and these holes are going to be 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to move my post out of the way. You can see there I have 4 circles. I have my my hammer drill here, which has a 3/8 SDS plus bit on it, quad head, so we can cut through this fairly quickly. And this is for the anchor bolts that are going to hold these posts in place. And one thing I forgot to do is I want to put a marker on here. So I have I only want to go down and penetrate the concrete about 3 inches. And I'm going to put some tape on here to tell me when to stop. And I'm going to eyeball this because I'm pretty good at marking out 3 inches. Even if you go a little further, just don't knock your wedge anchor down more than you need to. Okay. Oh, look at that. Find all kinds of things in the warehouse. Now I'm just going to run it up and down clean the hole out. Okay, it's one hole. That's two. Gonna clean it out. Okay, two done. As you can see here, this tape ran up on me. So I'm going to put another piece of tape on. That can happen. Okay. And the last hole. When you see the color change like that to a darker gray, that's usually a piece of stone that you're hitting inside the concrete. I'm going to take 4 anchor bolts and I'm going to place those in there. Now the nice thing about when you're putting anchor bolts in, okay, the top has what they call a dog nose on it. And the dog nose is basically that little area that you'll see there that is not threaded. So when you hit it with the hammer, it's not going to affect the nut going on to the anchor. Okay, so I have my hammer and I'm basically gonna lock these in place. So there's about 1 inch sticking up. Okay, now the holes are cut a little larger than the holes are cut a little larger than the actual anchor, and the reason for that is so you have some adjustment room, you have fudge room, so you don't have to be exactly right on the button. You can move the post base around a little bit and get it aligned properly. So I have that. I'm going to, before I put that in place, because I'm in a tight spot here, I'm going to install the actual panel on the end first. And the reason I'm doing that is so I don't have a hard time putting the bolts into the actual end panel, which is what I have here. The other thing on here is that there are different sides to the post. You have the holes that accept these panels, and then you have little holes that are here, here, that accept the door panels, and those will accept self-drilling screws. So you got to make sure you align it properly. So particularly this one is not going to be affected, but the one on the end here also will not be affected because the doors are going to go on my next panel. So we're going to put this on here. I'm going to mount it, which is basically going to go like that. Okay. So I'm going to use a lock washer, a washer, and a nut. So it'll be washer, then lock washer. So first the washer goes on, the lock washer, then the nut. And I'm going to slide this panel on to the bolt. Yeah, I'm doing this all by myself. This is a one-person job. The washer on, the lock washer, and now I'm putting the serrated nut on. Perfect. I have my ratchet. I'm gonna tighten that up. Okay, I snugged that one up. I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to put my next bolt in place. There we go. I had to lift the panel a little bit so I can get the bolt through. Washer, lock washer, and I need my nut. Okay. Whoops. Taking off on me here. Tightening up the panel now. And I'm using a box wrench and a ratchet. Gonna grab my washer and nut and put my nut in place and washer to hold the panel. Okay, and this is a progressive system. So you just keep putting one panel, post, panel, post. Now I want you to keep in mind this is not high security in any way or form. This is basically to prevent guys from going in here and just taking tools on their own without someone supervising. Someone's always around in this area. So this will do for my purposes. Right now we have all this stuff in our office, so we keep an eye on it, where it doesn't get legs and start walking. Okay, I'm going to square this up now. And then I'm going to drill 4 more holes. Looks pretty good. Just checking the alignment. Make sure we're good. Cleaning the hole out. You know, you can leave the nuts on these things too if you want to. I'm putting this one in before I drill the rest of the holes, just basically to secure it. It makes it so you don't keep sliding around when you're drilling the holes. The plate won't keep moving on you. So this will secure it in place. Perfect. So I have the post here and I have the door. Okay, and the door has a hinge on it. And there are 4 self-drilling screws that they give you that hold this door on. And I'm going to install those now. This has a Tech 3 on it. I have an impact wrench that I'm going to install this. Again, I'm working by myself. This is basically a 2-person job, but I'll get it done myself. So I'm just using my foot to lift the door to align it to the screw and the hinge. And I'm just gonna run that in there. These go pretty quickly, as you can see. And then I'll adjust it afterwards. Another one here. And they give you the knuckle driver with the parts, with the fasteners, which is pretty good. You can see how fast this goes. The last one. Okay. Now I'm going to move this in place. So I just push the latch. The latch is out right now, part of the way. I'm just trying to get a fit. These directions they give you basically don't give you any direction. So this is kind of like some information, but they give you no layout information. So you just got to progressively build it on your own. Make sure you don't make it too tight. You just want to have enough. And I think I'm good here as far as that goes. I just want to measure to make sure that I'm within the range I want to be with this off the wall. So I'm 26 1/4. Make sure this plate's 26 1/4 approximately. It's about 1/4 inch off. Just gonna move it out 1/4 inch. Grab my hammer, tap it a little bit. There we go. Now I'll mark my holes and I'll drill again. The space here looks fairly good. I'm just going to push it in a little bit. Just a little. Yeah, that looks good. So I have about 1/4 inch gap here, which is enough. This way it doesn't hit anything. And that should work perfect. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to grab my drill. I'm going to drill some more holes. Another wedge anchor in. Just to hold it in place. So once I put another wedge anchor in here, this will secure up very nicely. I'm just squaring it up right now. And then I'll tighten this up. Whoops. Okay. All right. Drill a couple more holes. Just tightening up. The screws for the door. Okay. I have 2 more to drill at this location. All right, 1 door done. 2 more to go. This is the door latch. I'm going to put these in right now. Do some adjustment there. Okay, so it has to be to the outside of the corner here. So the door can open with no problem. Here we go. And then the lock goes right down into here and you secure it. So we completed installing all the posts and doors and the side panels on this tool cage. So now I'm going to build a cover over the top to seal it off. And I'm going to be doing that with metal stud, metal track, and 3/4 inch plywood. So I've installed the metal framing for the top of the cage to secure it. Now I'm going to cut some 3/4 inch plywood and install that and fasten it down, and we're all done. So this is the completion of our tool chest or tool cage, and I put the top on, so now the top is secure. This also now creates an area where we can store some more products right on top of this area here. This is very strong. I could stand on it. Probably 5, 6 people could stand on top of this now. It's made very sturdy. I put one shelf in here so you could see. I have a shelf. This is a wire shelf system that we just put inside. So at the end of the day, this whole thing cost me about $1,800 all done, instead of $5,000, $6,000. Just need a couple of locks that'll slide right through here, and all our expensive tools will be secure. Thanks for watching.